Good afternoon. This is Leslie from GoToKitchens.com, and you are witnessing our beautiful Colorado sky this morning, or actually this afternoon. It's noon here. Look at that blue sky. I am telling you, we get the most beautiful blue skies around here. It's unbelievable. I actually have a name for this. I call it Colorado blue because it's just so gorgeous. So I'm going to turn my camera. We are broadcasting outside today because it is gorgeous. Hey, it's good to see you guys. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Meg. I think I saw Gary Lee jump on. I think I saw Max jump on. Hello, The Oils. It's good to see you guys. Happy Monday. Hey, Linda. Hey, Sonia. How are you guys doing? Did you have an amazing weekend? Because I had an amazing weekend. I hope you did. There's some of my family. I never know who it is. I think it's my Aunt Holly. So hello, Aunt Holly. Hey, David, it's good to see you. Sherry. Yeah, she's been broadcasting a lot at noon as well. So hi, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Some of my amazing family that follows me and watches me here, including my mom and dad sometimes. So my brother-in-law, it's amazing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for that. Hey, Linda. All right, you guys, so we're going to get started. Let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie. I have a website, GoToKitchens.com. GoToKitchens.com is designed to help you have light bulb moments in your health. I know. It was just a great weekend. It was just really nice. We just spent some time. I get to work outside a little bit, work in my yard a little bit. It was just great. So yeah, great weekend. Every weekend. I always enjoy them. So, hey, Harlow, it's good to see you. Sherry, well, thank you. Even when I'm outside, my eyes are watering because the wind's kind of blowing. So GoToKitchens.com is designed to help you have light bulb moments in your health. I am hello from Germany. We are in Northern Colorado broadcasting live to you here. So, hey, Becky, it's good to see you. I know, short sleeves outside. It's fabulous. Yay. I'm going to work outside again today. I'm going to have my laptop out here today. So, okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to say it one more time. GoToKitchens is designed to help you have light bulb moments in your health. There are tons of recipes. There are health and wellness blogs over there. There is just all kinds of stuff over there for you to get started on your own health journey. And that's what it's designed for. It is to help you propel you into your own health journey. I am my purple apples today. So we are going to be talking all week, every week. If you are new to my, yes, it is beautiful. If you're new to my broadcast, we take a subject and we break it down the entire week. So sometimes it's a recipe that I'm breaking down. Sometimes it is, sometimes I'm cooking all week in the kitchen. It's different every single week. And this week, we are actually talking about the language of health. And I'm going to tell you why I came up with this subject. I was doing a broadcast. After my broadcast, I got an email, which you guys are welcome to do. You can go right to my website, GoToKitchens.com, GO2Kitchens.com, and email me right from there. And a woman said, you know, you throw around all these words and I'm new on my health journey and I have no idea what you're talking about. And it would be really great if you could explain those words when you say them. Well, I've been doing this for 3 years. And so some people have been doing it for 20 years. So you can imagine thinking about this, you know, in the backwards way that I have to explain myself. And I try to do a good job of that. But I thought, you know, why not dedicate an entire week to the language of the health and wellness world? Because I throw around words all the time. And some of you may be going, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And you have to go Google it or whatever. So I'm going to break down, I'm going to try to do 3 a day. So we're certainly not going to get through a lot, you know, like all the terms, but we're going to get through as many as we can over this next week. So, hey, Kristen, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. But we're going to get through as many as we can over this next 5 days and try to explain them to you and give you my definition, how I use them and why I use them. So I hope you guys enjoy this week. It's not like that fast-paced stuff that we do in the kitchen. A lot of times we were in the kitchen all week last week. So yes. That's right. I got some splaining to do. I do. So we're going to start today, and I actually have an ABC. So today I went through my own glossary because I actually have written down definitions over the last 3 years because I need to refer to them as well. And I need to write them down in my own terms so that I'm not trying to read medical terms. So once I understand something, I actually have a book or my own personal dictionary that I go back and I'm like, what does that mean again? And I have to go back and look at it. So I referred to it this morning and I pulled out the ABCs that I thought would be interesting for you guys to know. And the first one we're going to talk about today is actually amino acids. So, by the way, if you haven't, right down here in the corner, you can share out with your friends on Periscope, on Facebook, and Twitter. I would greatly appreciate that. If you have questions along the way, please let me know. You guys are pretty quiet today. I'm guessing either you're just listening or I've lost signal, but that's okay. So we're going to talk about amino acids first. Thanks for the hearts. That lets me know that you're there. So. I do have several things that we grow in the backyard. They were already here actually, so I'm going to try to grow some herbs this year, but we'll see. I'm awfully busy to be tending to things like that, but yeah, it would be cool if I could figure out how to grow some herbs. I don't have much of a green thumb, quite frankly. So, just saying. So let's talk about amino acids. So I have a whole notes here, so I'm going to be looking down a lot. So, all right, awesome. Thanks for being here. Where I go, thanks for saying that. Let me know. So amino acids are basically how proteins are made in the body. So your body gets protein and it actually converts them into amino acids and it moves them as nutrients throughout your body. So they're incredibly important. They are so important. Amino acids and proteins are actually the building blocks for life, right? So I know, right? No green thumb, right? So, but they are actually the building blocks for life. I mean, it's how most things are living on this planet. It's especially, let's just talk about the human condition here. It is especially essential to the human condition and our overall health. And so amino acids actually are responsible for breaking down food. They are responsible for our growth. They are responsible for our healing, our repairing in the body. So if our body's going to repair things correctly, especially when you're sleeping at night, you need to have the right amino acid function happening in the body. And then they do all kinds of other little tiny jobs inside the body, but those are the three biggies. So, so breaking down food, so digestion essentially, growth in our body, and then healing in our body. So super important. And you will hear me talk about, this is really great protein source because it has all of the amino acid profiles, meaning I think there's 14, I believe there's 14 different amino acids. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So sometimes we're just going to have to guess a little bit because I don't have it written down in front of me. But those are essential that your proteins are complete proteins. When I talk about eggs, I talk about them being a complete protein, meaning they have all the amino acids that you need. Now, there are 3 different types of amino acids. There is essential, non-essential, and conditional. So essential amino acids would be amino acids that you can only get in food. So the only way that you can get these amino acids is to get them in food, and there are 9 of those that you need. So it's super important. Now, this doesn't mean that you run out and go, what does this have in it? Does this have all my amino acids? You do this almost naturally throughout the day if you're eating enough protein. We need protein to sustain energy, to build muscle. This is why you hear about bodybuilders eating tons of protein and getting these full amino acid profiles. In fact, they're taking amino acids outside of protein sometimes to help build bulk and muscle. It is essential for that. So if you're lacking in muscle, if you're having a hard time building muscle or sustaining muscle, sometimes that can be an underlying health problem, but it can also be that you're not getting enough protein in the body. So very important to think about and getting the proper nutrition and protein. So getting good, healthy proteins. excuse me. So there are three groups: essential, non-essential, and conditional. So essential is basically everything that you get from food. Your body does not make these on its own. It has to get them from food. Those are essential proteins, and there are 9 of those. And we're not going to get into the technical aspects of what they are. You can do that research on your own, but there are 9 of those. And then there are non-essential proteins. Non-essential proteins are actually non-essential amino acids are amino acids that actually your body can make on its own. So it doesn't need a food source to make them. It actually will make them on its own. Now, there's a whole biological reason for that, again, that we're not going to get into. But that is what a non-essential amino acid is. And then there's conditional, which conditional normally lay in the category of non-essential, but conditional amino acids become very important if you're battling illness or if you are a stress cadet. If you're a stress cadet, you probably need to even get those non-essential amino acids from your food. So those, it's incredibly important, but those are just the basics of what an amino acid is. So getting a complete amino acid profile is important. Now, does this mean that you need to focus on that every single meal? Does that mean that every time you eat, you need to be like, am I getting my amino acids? No, this means that you need to get proper protein throughout the day. So proper protein does come from plant-based and from animal-based. And I recommend one of the best proteins on the planet, in my opinion, is an egg. If you are concerned about getting enough protein and getting the correct proteins, eat an egg a day. It's so simple. And eat the whole egg, not just the egg whites. Eat the entire egg, because the entire egg has all kinds of amazing nutrients. This is if you're not vegan. If you're vegan, obviously you're not going to do that. But even if you're vegetarian, a lot of vegetarians eat eggs. And so it is super, they are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. And I recommend them for people who have protein deficiencies. In fact, yeah, don't do that then. I understand. I'm not a vegan, so I understand if you don't want to eat an egg, that's totally fine. But if you're a vegan, hopefully you've done your research and you know where to get those essential amino acids from. So it's important that you're getting them somewhere. So you're still finishing up your Easter eggs. I know. They were so beautiful too, Sherry. I love the way you colored them. Sherry colored her Easter eggs all natural. They were all done with fruit and veggie based coloring, and it was so beautiful. So yes, absolutely. You have to balance that proteins with a carb if you're a diabetic. Absolutely. You don't want to go overboard there. So, and this is the thing about, so you guys are throwing things out to me saying, oh, well, I do this and I do that. And that is, I know, awesome. So that's great, because that's what I'm having for lunch today as well. I'm actually having a hard-boiled egg and salad for lunch today. So yes, but don't stress out if you're not getting a protein with every single meal. I think people try to, it's like, I'm not getting a protein in this meal. Well, if you don't get it in breakfast, just make sure you get it in lunch and dinner. And if you don't get it at lunch, make sure you had it at breakfast and dinner. And if you don't get it at dinner, make sure you get it at breakfast and lunch. So, I mean, it's just balancing that out. It's just finding out what works for you and how your body reacts, because we are all different. We are absolutely all different. I can lay down terms and I can teach you how to eat all day long, but really you are completely different from me. What I struggle with in my health, you probably don't struggle with, and vice versa. And the person next to you, and that person, and that person, and that person. We are all created different. So it just depends on what your body needs and wants. But that is basically so that is basically, you're still on about those poached eggs. I'll never live it down. You're basically, but that is the basic terminology for what an amino acid is. So you have a better understanding when we talk about it. So, that's terrible. Yeah, breakfast is super important. I don't ever have to convince my husband to eat any meals. He loves to eat, so. All right, so the second thing that we're going to talk about, and I use this term a lot. And that's bioavailabilibility. So a lot of times when I'm cooking in the kitchen, I talk about seeds and nuts and beans and yes, I am. It's true. I talk a lot about seeds and nuts and beans and all of these things. And I use the term bioavailable, and I end up having to explain it every single time, and I will continue to do so because not everybody's here on this broadcast right now. But bioavailability is something that is incredibly important when we talk about things that are in a casing. So think about a bean, right? So let's just take a bean as an example. It is in a casing. It is in a protective casing. Oh, there's Edison. He just had to bark for you. He may bark a lot because we're in the backyard, but it's in a little casing. So when you eat that, especially if you're eating them, if you're like a raw foodie or something like that, if you're not, hi, thanks for being here. If you're not like totally chewing that up, then yes, I'm fine, thank you. Then you are then it is not really releasing the nutrients in the body because it's passing the digestive system. So it's passing, so the bean starts here, you chew it a little bit. This is for people too that don't chew their food well. You chew it a little bit, it gets to the esophagus, really? Yeah, really. It gets to the esophagus, then it gets to the stomach, right? And it gets to the stomach and your stomach's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how to digest that. It moves it on to the small intestine, then the large intestine, and then you poop it out without ever getting any of the nutrients. Hey, Edison, hold on just a second. Edison, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. He just wants to stand and bark. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet for you to say that. Thank you. So, oh, you guys have to see Oompa. Look, Edison and Oompa. Oompa's a greyhound that lives in our neighborhood. Isn't he beautiful? Of course, the black one is Edison. Yeah, Oompa's a beautiful dog. He's such a good dog. Such good boys. Yes, corn is a great example. Corn is an amazing example. Thank you for saying that, Harlow. Flax seeds, you know, little seeds, sunflower seeds, things that are small that you're not chewing well, they have amazing amounts of nutrients in them, but then when you swallow them and it gets in your gut, thank you. Hi, thanks for being here. And it gets in your gut and then it goes to your intestines and then you just poop it right out because it's not being digested properly. So bioavailability is essentially what happens when you eat food. So all of your nutrients, pretty much all of your nutrients are absorbed in your small and large intestines. Now we're going to have an anatomy class. So the process of digesting food goes like this. It's so beautiful here today. Everybody should wish they had my weather. It's just gorgeous today. A little bit of a cool breeze and the warm sun. It's just gorgeous here. So the same thing happens for all of us. Now this is where we are all alike. So we chew our food, right? We chew our food, we swallow it, and it goes to the esophagus. The esophagus contracts, right? When we swallow, your esophagus contracts, and then it hits to the bottom, and there's a little bitty like orifice it's not little bitty actually, at the end of your esophagus that slowly opens and releases food into your stomach. The same thing happens out of your stomach into your small intestines, and then to your large intestines, and then through your colon, and then out your rectum. So that is the basics of anatomy of how you digest your food. So that's the pathway that it takes. But somewhere in there, your body needs those nutrients from the food. That starts to break down in your mouth. So, I know, right? Poor food. Can you imagine? I mean, think about your body does this every single day. Every single time you eat or drink, this happens. I mean, what an amazing structure we live in, right? I mean, how beautiful is that structure? Even the icky part, I mean, even the poop part, right? It is still just amazing that our bodies do this. I mean, and it does it every single day. We don't even have to ask it to do it. It just does it on its own. I mean, we don't even have to consciously say, okay, now you're chewing, now you're swallowing, and right? We take it for granted. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And so it's such an amazing thing that we live in, that you live in, this thing that you live in. You only get one of them, and it's just such an amazing thing. So bioavailability happens in the that's right, happens in, I know, it's amazing, Sherry, I agree. I must chew now. Hashtag chew now. So bioavailability starts in the mouth, to the esophagus, to the stomach. When you're chewing your food, you actually have in your saliva, you have a I don't know what to call it actually. It releases, I can't remember exactly what it's categorized, but it actually releases something in your spit when you're chewing that helps break the food down further. I think it's called analase. That goes down your throat, into your esophagus, and then into your gut. Once it gets to your gut, all of your digestive liquids in there start breaking the food down and getting it ready for your intestines. Now you can imagine the stress that you're putting on your gut when you don't chew your food well, right? Yes, there's a certain compound in there though, and I think it's called analase, that helps break down the food in the chewing process. So when your mom said to you, chew your food well, right? There was no joke about that. You absolutely should be chewing your food well. You should be chewing your food so well that when you spit it back out, if you were to spit your food back out, it would be unrecognizable. You would not be able to recognize what you were eating. That's how well you should be chewing your food. I mean, I know it sounds gross, but if you have a question, it's the best way to do it, right? I know, my mom always said that too. Chew your food, Leslie. And so, because I was a fast eater, because I was always in a hurry. I was like jetting around all the time. I was like, eat, 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 eat. Amylase, thank you. Yes, enzyme and saliva. Thank you so much. And so I was on the right path there. Good. Awesome. So win for Leslie. So, so when it gets to your gut, if it's not been chewed well, your gut has to work. Yeah, Robin kind of does that too, but he chews his food pretty well. I've made sure. So, but your gut has to work really, really hard to further that digestion, to break it down, to send it to your small intestines and then to your large intestines. So I know, right? And sometimes I'm like, what is that word? I know. It takes tons of patience, right? So it's very important that you chew your food well. People, this is one of the reasons why it's so important to keep your teeth intact, right? This is one of them. Your teeth are really important in the whole makeup. They're not just there to make your smile pretty. They're there for a function in your body, and that's to masticate your food. That is so that it breaks down the food in the mouth and then starts going down the holes all the way down into your gut and then to your small intestines. So the gut starts doing all of its job. It gets it down. It gets it nice and broke down, especially if you have a nice healthy gut and it's digesting really, really well. And so it gets that done. And then it goes to the small intestine, and that is where you start the bioavailability process. So there's nothing good in there for you, Harlow. I just have to say it out loud. I know you know it, but I have to say it out loud. So, but this is where that in your intestines, that's where it starts releasing nutrients to the body. Your intestines actually are absorbing all of the nutrients for your food. Crazy, right? Like a lot of people think that that you're absorbing nutrients through your stomach. There's a lot of talk about leaky gut. That's actually one of the terms we're going to talk about this week. But there's a lot of talk about leaky gut right now, right? And people think that that's, oh, if you have leaky gut, I'm not absorbing, I'm not absorbing nutrients well. And so that's actually, I mean, it is a little bit true because you're not digesting food well, but it is not where you're absorbing your nutrients. Your nutrients are actually getting absorbed. I keep pointing. I'm like pointing to my organs over here. That is where you are absorbing your nutrients in your small intestines. So it's important that those work well you want those to work well as well. So, but you want that food to be well digested as it hits that small intestine. So in the small intestine, you are going to do tons of work there. Tons of work happens. You are absorbing your carbs, your proteins, your minerals, your starches, your vitamins, not all vitamins, but a lot of vitamins, your amino acids, and your fats. All of that is getting absorbed. The nutrients from your food are getting absorbed in your small intestines. So everybody, thank your small intestines for making you healthy. Thank you, small intestines. Thank you. Squirrel. Thank you. This is my Target special. I think I got it for like $5 at Target. I love this t-shirt. It's like one of my t-shirts that I put on when I don't want to think about what to wear. So, yes, I think they're I think they're supposed to be apples, but they kind of look, I know, I love Target too, but they're kind of look like onions. I agree with the layers in them. So, yeah, squirrel, what? Where? What? So, yes, but that is, I know. And this is like one of the things that they like love to rip out, right? It's like, we could take part of that out. Yeah, let's just take that out. You don't need that. You absolutely need it. Your intestines are so important, right? So yes, absolutely. Your large intestine, so once it leaves, once it does all that work, and it's, so think about your food, right? And it's just sucking all of, so like you have this food that's digesting through your, through your stomach and now into your small intestines, right? And so it's absorbing all of those nutrients out, and it still has bulk left. There's still going to be fiber left. Uh-oh, sorry. I dropped my notes. There's still going to be fiber left. There's going to be water left. There's going to be some other vitamins and minerals left in that food. And so your body does the amazing job of having a second intestines, which we call the large intestines. The large intestines actually are responsible for pulling water out of your food and out of the water that you drink and all that kind of stuff, and sending the rest to waste. So it is super important, and it's also responsible for help bulking up your stool. So it's pulling water into your system and then also pulling water into your stool, getting it ready to go to the colon, which is in the large intestines, which is where you're absorbing a lot of water as well, and other nutrients. What else are you doing in the large intestines? You're absorbing the rest of the water, sodium and potassium. And then everything else is sent to waste. So everything else is... I know, right? Yay. We're talking about poop at lunch. Everything else, everybody's like, I gotta go, I have to go poop, because it's like the power of suggestion. So everything else is sent to your colon, and then to your rectum, and then to your toilet, right? Yes. Any good advice for colon health? Probiotics are awesome. Digestive enzymes are awesome, but I just really say eat whole real food. Stop eating processed food. Stop drinking soda. Stop all of those things. If you're having digestive issues, don't eat a ton of raw food. Eat real food, but don't eat a ton of raw food. Go easy on the probiotics if you're having irritation. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the digestive system. So yogurt, yeah, yogurt is going to be good as long as it doesn't have a bunch of sugar in it. Fermented foods are awesome. I would not overdo it if you, again, are having any type of irritation. I would not overdo it on that, but yes, probiotics in pill form are fine if you don't eat fermented foods. If you're eating fermented foods, you don't need that. So yes. Okay. Get back on track here. Without the sugar and fruit, for sure. Absolutely. Raw yogurt is the only type of yogurt you should be consuming. Yeah. Activia and all that says that it has probiotics in it, ditch it, don't get it. You want live, raw yogurt cultures. And if you want to put your own fruit in it, that would be great. So I think that enzyme supplements have their place if you're not eating a lot of living food. So let's say you can't eat a lot of raw food. Let's say a lot of raw food upsets your system. And if you have stomach troubles, if you're having digestive issues, then that's probably the case. Then I think there is definitely, yeah. Colostomy, those are bad news. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Lie like a dog. It's true. I used to say that. That must be a Texas thing. I used to say that too. They lie like a dog. Yeah. No, you don't want to do that. So, kitchen. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, kitchenatomy is just actually a detox of the mind more than a detox of actual food. There are lots of detoxes in food out there, but yeah, kitchenatomy is not really a nutrition class. It's really a kitchen class. So, yeah. Okay, so that is, everything else goes out as waste, and that's what happens, and that's what bioavailability means. Your body's availability to absorb nutrients from your food. If you have something awry in your intestines, in your gut, in your small or large intestines, sometimes even if your teeth are bad and you're not able to chew your food well, that can all cause you to lose nutrients. So your body's like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. Like if it gets huge chunks in the small intestine, it doesn't know what to do with them, and so it just passes it on to the large intestine to say, hey, this is coming down because I don't know what to do with it. And then you end up just pooping it out. So yes, or not pooping it out because you get constipated. Yeah, so you have bumped up to, awesome. That's amazing. Harlow, I love that you're taking small steps to heal yourself. I think it's amazing. Keep up the good work. I'm very proud of you. Not that you need me to say that, but I am very proud of you. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is carotenoid. So I use this word every once in a while. I don't like to say it, so I don't use it very often, but I do talk about the properties of them a lot, and you will see it a lot like in health and wellness blogs, and I will type it out everywhere. So it's carotenoid. Got it? Carotenoid. Carota what? It's spelled C-A-R-O-T-E-N-O-I-D-S. There you go. Thank you for putting that in there. So this is the nutrient that is responsible, or the term that they use for the nutrient, that is responsible for giving certain fruits and vegetables their color. So it is basically plants that have certain pigments in them, and we're going to talk about them in just a second. Plants that have certain pigments in them have these properties, nutrient properties for you. And so orange, yellow, and red pigments found in plants have these amazing, exactly, way to go, Harlow, have these amazing properties in them that help support all kinds of functions. So basic nutrients of these types of vegetables, good. I love it. I love it. Yes, carotenoids. That's right. But they are beta carotene, lycopene, and lutein. So beta carotene, as you know, is amazing for your eyes. Lutein is amazing for your eyes. If you are getting proper amounts of these things in your diet, your eyes can sustain all kinds of things. I mean, I have macular degeneration runs in my family, especially for people with light-colored eyes. I had brown eyes. When I was a little girl, my eyes were chocolate brown. And as I've gotten older, they've actually changed color and they're like this green kind of color now. But people with light eyes in my family have a history of macular degeneration. So that frightens me a little bit. I don't let it control me, but thank you. But it frightens me a little bit. That makes me a little nervous about, like the fact that I could possibly get that, right? And so I eat a lot, and you'll notice in my recipes, I eat a lot of carrots. I eat a lot of red bell peppers. I eat a lot of tomatoes. I eat a lot of leafy greens, which also have these properties in them. I eat all kinds of yellow vegetables, squashes, of course I eat all kinds of vegetables anyway, but you will notice if you look at my recipes a lot, because the recipes that I put out for you guys are the things that I cook for myself. They aren't just things that I'm just like sticking out there because I've actually eaten them and I think that they're amazing and I want you to have them. So yeah, I know. Yeah. So my eyes were chocolate brown when I was a little girl. I can prove it in photos. My dad used to say, I just love my little brown-eyed girl. And as I got older, they kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. So yeah. And now they're this green color, and I don't wear contacts. I probably should wear contacts, but I don't. so yeah, no, this is just the color. It's odd what has happened. So, and it's funny because my grandmother, who is now dead, she died a few years back. She always wanted, she would tell her sons and daughters that she always wanted a dark-haired, green-eyed, or blue-eyed grandchild. It was like her favorite combination. I was like, oh, I did it. Maybe she wished it on me. She willed it on me. So she's an amazing woman. I miss her so much. Mama. She was my mama. She's my dad's mother. She's an amazing woman. So yes, I know, right? She totally willed it on me, which is fine. I like my green eyes. So these have protective properties. These colors of vegetables and plants and fruits have protective properties. And of course, it is in the form of an antioxidant. And these antioxidants are so powerful in our body, but only if you're absorbing them. But they are super, super powerful in our body. They are responsible for our eye health, for our skin health, for our hair health, for for our cardiovascular system. They help prevent and fight tumors in the body. There's some research being done in Northern Europe right now, and I don't know the name of the study or anything like that, but I read a lot about cancer, of course, because I'm a cancer survivor. But in Northern Europe, they are doing a study right now where they have taken tumors out of people and they are exploding them with antioxidants. It's crazy. I love that song, actually. I'm like a total hipster when it comes to music, so yeah, I love that song. But they are exploding cancer cells with antioxidants. So they're basically taking plant-based antioxidants and shooting them into the cancer cells and exploding them. And they're just gone. And then your body absorbs them and out the back door they go, and it's over. It's amazing. They're about to start human trials where they're exploding it because they can't survive. Cancer cells can't survive in I know, right? They can't survive in a high antioxidant environment. So if you're eating tons of antioxidants, your body is equipped to actually fight those. But to give it a little bit more oomph, they're actually shooting plant antioxidants into cancer and trying to get them to explode and dissipate. Now, the trial comes in that long period of time. I know, right? The trial period comes in that long period of time to see if the cancer comes back. Because a lot of times they can remove a cancer and it's gone, right? You're cancer-free. Boom, you're done. Cancer-free, gone, done. Right? The cancer is out of your body. You're done. But then the cancer ends up coming back. And so they're trying to figure out ways that they can do that and keep the cancer from coming back ever. So amazing, amazing things going on in our planet right now. So it does suck. I hate that. I hate it when that happens. It does suck though. Absolutely. I know so many people right now that bingo bongo, cancer, finito. I love it, Janie. I love it. So I choose to fight my cancer back. I'm cancer free, but I choose to fight, cancer that may try to come up in my body with fortifying it with all of these plant enzymes and all of these amazing antioxidants in my body. Now, I don't do anything exterior. I don't juice. I don't take, supplements that are power packed with antioxidants. I just eat food. I just eat real food. That's my path. That's what I have, what I've been doing, and it's worked really, really well for the past 3 years. So is it Lung Cancer Prevention Awareness Month? Yeah, that's good. I would like for people not to get lung cancer anymore. Unfortunately, as our atmosphere degrades, the more and more people will, unfortunately, be subjected to that. But that's why you want to power pack your body, to be a defense. So if cancer tries to come up, because you know what, this freaks everybody out when I say this. Hey Sandy, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. This freaks everybody out when I say this, but every single one of you has cancer in your body. Every single one of us at any given point in time have cancer cells in our bodies. It's just, does your body turn on the receptors for that, or does it leave them off? And that's a very layman's way to describe it, but it's basically what's happening. Does your body recognize it and go, hey, it's cancer, and turns it on because it doesn't have the ability to fight it? Or does it leave it off? Or does it leave that off and then it fights it, and eradicates it that way? So it is absolutely true that every single one of us have cancer cells in our body at any given point in time, but it's your body's ability to fight those off, right? I know, it's true. And I try to speak in those terms anyway, but that's why we're doing these big fancy words this week. So it's very, very important that you, yeah, my husband did too, Harlow. Robin did too. His mom actually died of emphysema, and his father died of silicosis of the lungs, which is from the factory that he worked in. But yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people did, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It is not your destiny. Just because you grew up in a house that was smoke filled, it is not your destiny to have lung cancer. Right? So sometimes we speak our destiny upon ourselves. I have to tell you that I'm going way off the deep end here, and I don't even know what time it is because I have another broadcast at 1. I have to go check the time. Hold on. Let me see if I can stay and play, or do I need to go? I got 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes and then I need to go because I have a broadcast on Parachute TV at 1 p.m. today, and we're making, we're making no bread bruschetta. So Parachute TV 1, right after this broadcast, I will be over there making no bread bruschetta. So, yeah, I know, it's true, right? Yeah, so it is super yummy. It is so good. You guys have to come check it out. So it's going to be on Parachute TV 1. Just follow them. I'll be on at 1 o'clock. I'm there every Monday at 1 Mountain Time. But a lot of people just assume. I was so fearful. Thank you so much, Trish, for putting that up there. Awesome. Thank you, Becky. I can't wait to see you there. So I know, right? So, but I was so fearful of cancer. I have spent my entire life wondering what it would be like if the despair you must feel when you get diagnosed with cancer. I was so fearful of it. I actually feel like I claimed it as my destiny. Like I claimed that was what was going to happen to me. And I have to tell you, because it's just pretty much us girls here right now. Sorry for the boys that might be watch the replay, but I love my boobs. I love them. And the thought of breast cancer and them having to take my breast, was just devastating to me. You know, the thought of cancer and having to go through chemo treatments and losing all my hair and, you know, my fingernails falling off. And I mean, you know, all the things that happen that are terrible just terrified me. And so, but I feel like that I brought that on to myself. I feel like because of my fear that it gave into that my body gave into the thing that I feared the very most. And so now cancer doesn't scare me at all. I've had it now. I mean, you think it'd scare me more, right? And, Arlo, and now it's like, I don't even give it a second thought. The only time I think about it is when I'm trying to teach you guys. See, and they try to make it your destiny, and it is not your destiny. It is not your destiny to have cancer. Just because your parents had cancer, just because you lived in a smoke-filled home, just because your mother or brother or sister or whoever had cancer, it is not your destiny. Your destiny is to be well. Your destiny is to have health. Your destiny is to take care of yourself. And you are in control of that destiny. You are the CEO of this magnificent thing that you've been given. And it's up to you to choose what your destiny is. And you can control it. You can control your destiny. I know, right? So yes, don't take it on as... I had a conversation with a young man where I bought my car, and we were talking, and I said something about being a food blogger, and he's like, oh, what kind of food blogger? And that always leads to the conversation of I'm a cancer survivor. And he was like, he just stared at me. He was like, I was just in, they found a mass in my stomach and they don't know what it is. And I just had it biopsied, and my dad died of stomach cancer. And I know that that's what it is. And I was like, it's not your destiny. Just because your dad died of it does not mean that you're going to die of it, right? Just because whoever was an alcoholic doesn't mean that you're going to be an alcoholic. So I feel like that I was buying this car like on the perfect day. And so we actually still communicate. He gets on my blog. He's been cooking my recipes, and thankfully it was not cancer. And he was like, you're right. I mean, I was freaking out because it's not my destiny. And he's like totally embraced that whole like light-filled, thought of this is not my destiny. I do not have to be, my mom had a stroke at a very young age. It was 8 years ago. She was in her 50s and she had a major stroke. And I could go on saying, oh, well, my mom had a stroke, so I'm probably going to have a stroke. I refused that. I absolutely refused that. I'm sorry that my mom had a stroke, but I refuse to think that that is my destiny. My family has macular degeneration. I refuse to think that that's my destiny. I can help. I can do the very best that I can do to prevent that from happening. So, sorry, I just totally got off on a soapbox there. Right? I know. Don't own it. Don't own those negativities. Own the light. That's what you need to own. You need to own control of your body. And I don't know how we got from those 3 words to my soapbox, but there we go. All right, you guys, I'm going to fly out of here. I got to go prep for my next scope. Thank you, Sandy. Right? I know, right? It's funny. So, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Always light, never darkness. That's right. Thank you guys so much. So pop on over. Don't feed the cancer cells with sugar. Okay, Sherry, we won't. Don't feed your cancer cells with sugar. I agree with that, actually. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Love you guys so much. It is a tight squeeze for you too. Love you, Harlow. Thanks for being here. Love you too, Trish. Thank you guys so much for being here. So please hop on over to Parachute TV. I'm going to teach you how to make a kick butt recipe. It's actually on my website. If you're not going to watch the broadcast, it's called bruschetta, no bread bruschetta. If you type that in or search under snacks, you will see it. Love you too. Yeah, go check it out. It is an amazing recipe if you don't come and watch on Parachute TV. It is so good. And it's made with the amazing Jill's crackers. So, all right, you guys, I know, so good, so good. Great little appetizer, great little snack, like in the middle of the day kind of snack that's very satisfying and super flavorful and yummy. So, all right, love you so much. I will see you over on Parachute TV, or tomorrow. We're going to talk about 3 more words tomorrow. I'm not telling you what they are. Yay, Jills. We love Jills. We're going to, so meet me over there. All right, love you guys. If I don't see you later, I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye. Go to kitchens.com.